Hey guys, welcome back to Sgcarmart Reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at a luxury executive sedan. Now if you're in the market for that one, maybe you're going to be considering this one. This is the BMW 520i. Now is it worth the hype? Let's find out today. If you're thinking about trading in your car, try selling it with Quotes instead. Quotes helps you sell your car quickly and easily. With the new Quotes doorstep, get a professional inspection by our certified mechanics at your convenience anywhere on the island. Quotes will then auction out your car online to its wide network of dealers to bid on your car. Once bidding is complete, Quotes will update you with their best offer price at no obligation. It's that easy. To find out more, visit quotes.com.sg. That's quotz.com.sg. Now, back to the review. The BMW 520i is priced from $346,000 to $355,000. The 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine produces 187 brake horsepower and 310 Nm of torque. The 8-speed Steptronic transmission brings the car from 0 to 100 km per hour in 8.1 seconds. The BMW 520i has a claim fuel consumption figure of 14.3 km per litre. For more details on the BMW 520i or any other car, head on to sgcarmart.com to help you make the smart choice on your next car. Starting off by the front, you of course have your standard BMW logo here. You're going to find gold trim all around this car because this is the launch edition of the 520i. So gold trim around this active air vents which open up at speed to cool down the engine. And then of course the standard kidney grille along with the huge power domes right here. Very signature BMW look, almost hints of a Mini XM. The car does measure in just under 5 meters by 1.9 by 1.5. You're gonna get 20-inch rims on the launch edition variant, 19-inch on the regular. You're gonna find more gold trim from the launch edition, and then also your 360 camera housing. Your door handles are now flush right here, but they do open up like regular. And then moving down, you do get a little hint of a 5 Series, and the skirting here does have a little bit of a new design. Now onto the rear. Now over by the rear of the 520i, I think this looks very minimalistic, very clean. No pieces of trim here or little bits of silver or plastic. You do get launch edition right here, some L shapes with the golden trim. Now open up the rear of this 520i with the 520 plate, very nice. And then you're gonna get 520 liters worth of boot space. Now this is a mild hybrid system, so you're gonna be losing some of the boot space, but 520 is a thematic number. But do keep in mind that it is a little bit narrow right here. Anti-trolley luggage, no problem at all. You do get 2 bins right here and hooks as well as buttons to pull down the rear seats with. So very convenient. Now let's check out the inside. Now over in the rear of the 520i, it's not much to complain about because being in an executive sedan segment, of course, it's gonna be spacious. Now this is my leg space, this is my head space, this is my comfortable driving position. And I have to say, number one, I really like the color configuration in here. This brown and black and gold just looks really good. Speaking of this, you're gonna have Harman Kardon sound system inside the car, so your tunes are just gonna be banging. You're gonna have aircon here in the middle, physical vents and physical dials, which is a stark contrast to the ones in front. 2 USB-C fast charging and a shallow little nook to put your phone. Now this is a rear-wheel drive sedan, so you're gonna have a pretty large transmission tunnel. If you want to shift into the rear, into the middle rather, it is going to look rather like this. You're not going to be able to sit much with your feet up on the transmission tunnel as it's rather high, but I think space-wise, a little bit into the side of your friends, but it's going to be still plenty of space. Now, if there's nobody in the middle, of course, you can shift back and then pull out an armrest with a little, no ski hatch, but 2 cup holders for you to rest your arm on and just focus on the road ahead. Now, in terms of amenities, other than that, you're going to find dome lights and a little hook on your handle, but no magazine holders. Now onto the front. Now over by the front in the cockpit is where things start to get a little bit more refined, a little bit nicer. You of course, number one, notice the interaction bar that comes from the 7 Series, now inside the 5 Series. Very nice. It stretches from your door controls, lock controls to your front lights, hazard light, and all the way to the passenger side door. Now unlike the 7 Series, of course, the doors here are going to be manual. And you're gonna notice, of course, your aircon vents are hidden inside. You do have a little manual control right here, but you won't be able to see where the vents are pointing, so you're just gonna have to figure out with a little bit of guesswork. Honestly, this is a little bit of a gripe, but I honestly also feel it's very forgivable because you're just gonna sit inside the car the first time, adjust it to the desired position, and then you're just gonna leave it there for the rest of its life. Now you do have a fan speed control right here on the interaction bar, and then golden trim along the rest of the car, and a little bit of this trim here because this, again, is the launch edition. Then up here, of course, is your OS 8.5. Now this is where things start to get really messy. There's just like 1,000,001 apps inside this system, but I think for the most part you're gonna be using things like Android Auto, wireless connection, as well as your Spotify. Now for the rest of it, there are a few very interesting ones. Drive recorder, which is gonna function pretty much like your dash camera, and then there is a little interior camera. So if you notice, this is an optional component, so I can actually see the interior cabin. I can see the front as well as the rear. BMW says that this will double up as a security feature, but its primary feature, if you can see here, you can use it to take selfies. You can tap on this little button to snap a photo, or like a Samsung phone, you can smile for them to take the photo. Now, one other weird thing that I like to point out is, I think this is to complement the interaction bar. If you press on this Happy New Year feature, you're gonna get to watch a little short film, and then you watch how the colors flow through the interaction bar. It's almost like a home cinema with those ambient lighting setups, and it just flows through really nicely. Does this add any value to the car? I'm not sure, but is it something nice to see? Yeah. And I'm sure the kids will love it as well. Now moving down to the center console, you're gonna find 2 wireless phone charging pads and then 2 cup holders here, which are big enough to fit a tumbler of this size. Now for your gears, you do have drive, neutral, reverse, and parking, which doubles up as the electronic parking brake auto hold right here. Now if you touch on the My Modes capacitive button right here, you're gonna see quite a few modes, but I think most importantly, you'll pay attention to sport as well as efficient. These are your drive modes, so you're gonna go into sport mode, a little higher revs, a little bit more responsive and stiffer steering. You're gonna get a different theme on your heads-up display as well as your instrument cluster, which is the same for your efficient driving. So very easily, one look, you can tell which mode you are in. But I find it a little bit confusing. You have your personal, sport, and efficient, and then other than that, it's gonna be your light bar themes. So I do find it a little bit cluttered for everything to be put inside. Now moving on to the steering wheel, it's a very nicely shaped leather wrap steering wheel. Of course, you're gonna have your cruise control settings on the left, and then your media control settings on the right. Very easy, very clean. And then pedal shifters if you do want to get into a little bit more spirited driving. Now speaking of spirited driving, does this 520i drive as well as it looks? Only one way to find out. So driving the BMW 520i, what does it feel like? Well, of course it is a 5 Series, so it's refined, it's muted, it's well planted. There's power when you need it. It's powered by a 2-litre turbocharged engine producing 194 brake horsepower, I believe 0 to 100 in somewhere around 9 seconds. So on paper it's not that fast, but actually feels a lot stronger. And I actually really like that about German makes. If you compare them to similar Japanese makes, they usually tend to do with more power, smaller engines, and heavier cars. And even the fuel consumption isn't that bad. This is a 5 Series, it is a mild hybrid, so you're gonna get somewhere between 14 kilometers per litre. Since the car hasn't been properly run in yet, I can't give you an exact number, but riding is smooth, it's comfortable. In comfort mode, it's gonna be just very peaceful for your everyday driving. After all, it is a base 520, not a 535, so you're still gonna get very comfortable daily driving, but still when you want the power, you can tap on it a little bit and it's just still gonna feel very comfortable. Now in terms of safety, you're gonna get blind spot monitor, blind spot alert, lane keeping, but it doesn't have active cruise control, which does feel it does feel a little bit lacking, like especially in a car in 2023, 2024, for it to not have active cruise control. But otherwise, for the rest of your trip, it's going to be rather quiet. Compared to the Lexus ES, I do feel like a little bit more noise is coming through the cabin, but I do also feel like in the Lexus ES, it's a bit more refined. For this, it's not so much about how refined it is, but rather what kind of driving you're going to get out of it. Because after all, it is a BMW. you're still gonna get that kind of dynamism that you're after. If that's what you want, then of course the BMW is the one for you. Now, when you're going around car parks, the steering is going to be very light. You're going to be in comfort mode. But when you want to go into sport mode, it's going to stiffen up a little bit. And yet, it's still going to feel very, very stable. You're not going to feel like you're going to miss out on any bit of the road. I feel like the happiest that this car will be is, of course, on the highway. But that's not to say within city driving, it's going to be sluggish. Not one bit, because it's still, even though it's a 520, it's still enough of power when you need it. It kind of dart you around. It feels very precise, yet comfortable enough. It's a very good everyday car. It's plenty of space with a mild hybrid for that little bit of fuel saving, but yet when you need it, of course, it's that BMW dynamism that comes out and just lets you sprint around in traffic. It's just gonna bring a smile to your face. Now, if you ask me, is this car a will buy, won't buy, or go try? I'm gonna have to say that this BMW 520i is a go try, because I feel like if you're looking in this segment, in this kind of car, the one that's gonna come up very easily is, of course, going to be the Lexus ES. Now, I feel like both cars have their pros and cons. For this car, it is gonna offer you a little bit more of that driving pleasure, but for the Lexus, it's gonna be a little bit more of that being driven around. And they're both almost the same kind of offering, almost the same price. Engine power is give and take some. I believe the Lexus has a higher brake horsepower, but yet the 520i is faster. You're gonna get mild hybrid on the 520i, you're gonna get a proper hybrid on the Lexus. You're gonna get a 2.5 litre NA versus a 2 litre turbocharged. It's a very close fight. So I have to say, if you're looking in this segment, is a go try between these two. Whether you want something more comfortable, more refined, or whether you want something that just has that little bit more of a driving pleasure. So that's our review of the BMW 520i. What do you think? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Let us know down in the comments below, as well as any other car that you'd like to see us try out. Do leave in the comments and we'll read every single one of these. Now, if you've made it this far, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any of our future uploads. Also, follow us on TikTok. We are at Sgcarmart. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Again, it will appear on your, it will set up. Get a very clean. Where's the car moving? It's neutral.
Why is it neutral?
If not, it'll turn off the lights.